The Imperial Message. The Emperor, so it is said, has sent a message to you, the humble subject, the insignificant shadow cowering in the remotest distance before the imperial sun. The Emperor from his deathbed has sent a message to you alone. He commanded the messenger to kneel down by the bed and whispered the message to him. So much did he care for it that he ordered the messenger to whisper it back into his ear. Then with a nod of the head, he confirmed that it was right. And before the entire gathering of those who witnessed his death, for all the obstructing walls have been broken down, and on the wide and high-soaring staircases stand the great figures of the empire in a ring, before all these he dispatched his messenger. The messenger set out at once, a strong and indefatigable man. Thrusting out now one arm, now the other, he clears a path through the crowd. If he meets resistance, he points to his breast, where the symbol of the sun is glowing. He makes his way easily, like no one else. The multitude is so vast, their dwellings are endless. If he could reach the open fields, how fast he would fly. And soon you would hear the magnificent knocking of his fists on your door. But instead, how vainly does he wear out his strength. He is still only making his way through the chambers of the innermost palace. Never will he get to the end of them. And if he succeeded in that, nothing would be gained. He must next fight his way down the stairs. And if he succeeded in that, nothing would be gained. The first court would still have to be crossed, and after the court, the second outer palace, and once more stairs and courts, and once more another palace, and so on for thousands of years. And if at last he should burst through the outermost gate, but never, never can that happen, the imperial capital would lie before him, the center of the world, crammed to bursting with its own refuse. Nobody could fight his way through here, and even less so with a message from a dead man. But you sit at your window and dream it when evening falls. A deep dive into Kafka's world, absolute despair, and human hope.
What did you think? That was The Imperial Message, a masterpiece short story by Franz Kafka, the master of absurdist literature. The story begins with the contrast of overwhelming scale between the absolute emperor, who seems to rule the entire universe, and the tiny me, who is nothing but a shadow, like a stain in front of his light. Now why is it that this messenger, who is the strongest runner who never tires, and who has no one to stand in his way, can never ever escape from the palace? Kafka is not simply talking about the scale of the palace being too large. Hidden here is a physical and mathematical absurdity that defies our common sense. Imagine this. There is a concept called Zeno's paradox of dichotomy, proposed by the ancient Greek philosopher. In order to reach a destination, you must first go to the halfway point. And in order to travel the remaining half of the distance, you must pass the halfway point of that. If you repeat this forever, the distance will continue to be divided infinitely, and mathematically, you will never arrive at your destination. Perhaps the emperor's palace has a nested structure, just like this paradox.
The moment the messenger thinks he has finally run through half of the palace, the same number of courtyards and stairs are compressed and packed into the remaining half of the space, like Matryoshka dolls. The farther he advances, the more new rooms multiply infinitely. Or we can apply the expansion of the universe in modern physics. In this great empire, space itself continues to expand outward at a speed much faster than the messenger can run. With every step he takes, the exit of the palace recedes by 2 steps. Even if he continued to run at the speed of light for tens of billions of years, he would never reach the edge. It is a space where such despairing laws of physics are at play. Even after billions of years have passed, and the emperor who gave the order and the great empire itself have turned to cosmic dust and disappeared, this messenger alone continues to run eternally, all by himself, through the labyrinth of the palace that continues to expand and be divided infinitely. And yet, you have no way of knowing this fact, and when evening falls, you sit at your window and dream that the message might arrive someday. The sorrow and comedy of human beings who continue to wait for something that can never arrive. This is the most beautiful and cruel form of despair that Kafka depicted. If you knew a message would never arrive, would you still wait for it at your window? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section.